Can our son lead a normal life?
Define normal.
The Accountant 2 definitely raised the stakes and helped solidify the series as more than just a one-off action film. It officially feels like a real franchise now. But with all the buzz surrounding the sequel, the big question naturally becomes, is The Accountant 3 happening? This all started back in 2016, when The Accountant introduced us to Christian Wolff, played by Ben Affleck, a highly skilled but socially withdrawn accountant with autism who uses his talent with numbers to work with some very shady people. That first movie was a surprise hit, not just with audiences but also at the box office, and many people thought a sequel would arrive soon after. Instead, fans had to wait nearly a decade for The Accountant 2 to hit theaters. Even with that delay, the story didn't lose its momentum. The Accountant 2 found Christian teaming up with his long-estranged brother Braxton, played by Jon Bernthal, to unravel the murder of a high-ranking Treasury official. The movie took the foundation laid in the first installment and expanded it into something that clearly has room to grow. Which is exactly why people are now wondering, what's next? Is there more in store for Christian Wolff? At the moment, there hasn't been an official green light for The Accountant 3, but the idea is very much alive. Director Gavin O'Connor has been steering this ship since the beginning, and he's already started talking about where things could go next. According to him, there are plenty of ideas, but the real hurdle is how well The Accountant 2 performs financially. If it becomes a hit, the chances of a third movie will go way up. If not, the studio might hesitate to invest in another sequel. O'Connor has made it clear that there's a plan in mind, and it even involves bringing back Anna Kendrick's character Dana. Although Dana wasn't featured in The Accountant 2, that wasn't due to oversight. According to the director, the sequel was always meant to zoom in on the brothers and their rocky relationship. But now that Christian and Braxton have started mending their bond, there's room for Christian to shift focus to love, connection, and maybe a second chance with Dana. Speaking about it, O'Connor hinted that the third movie would explore Christian's longing for connection on a deeper level, which naturally leaves the door wide open for Dana's return. It wouldn't be a surprise at all if Anna Kendrick reprises her role in the third film. The character meant a lot to the emotional heart of the first story, and with Christian evolving so much, it makes sense to bring her back. Even though nothing is locked in yet, the cast for a potential third movie already feels fairly predictable in the best way. Ben Affleck and Jon Bernthal are almost certainly returning as Christian and Braxton, especially since their sibling dynamic became the emotional core of the second film. Their chemistry on screen and the way their characters complement each other, Christian with his methodical mind and Braxton with his rough-edged bravado, make them essential for whatever comes next. We'd likely also see Allison Robertson return as Justine, the brilliant tech specialist who plays a crucial role in guiding the Wolff brothers through their missions. Cynthia Addai-Robinson, who portrayed Treasury agent Mary Beth Medina in both previous films, is another solid bet to return. She could easily find herself aligned with the brothers again in whatever operation they take on next. And of course, fans are really hoping Kendrick's Dana comes back into the picture, especially now that Christian might finally be ready to open up emotionally. So, what could the third movie be about? That's still a bit of a mystery, but there are some hints. The ending of The Accountant 2 didn't exactly set up a cliffhanger or tease a direct continuation, but it did leave the story in a place where future narratives could branch off in any direction. The sequel widened the scope of this world significantly, and now that Christian and Braxton are on better terms, they could become a formidable duo for hire, taking on high-stakes missions where Christian's intellect and Braxton's brute force work in tandem. But beyond the action, there's clearly an interest in digging deeper into Christian's personal journey. According to O'Connor, and supported by Affleck himself, the next chapter could focus more on Christian trying to find and maintain real emotional connection. That's something that's been building since the first film, and while he made some strides in The Accountant 2, there's still a lot more story to tell in that space. Affleck even spoke about Christian's emotional struggles in an interview, saying there's something beautiful and raw about his desire for connection. As someone who processes the world differently, Christian has a tough time interpreting social cues, which makes his vulnerability all the more poignant. According to Affleck, that internal struggle, the feeling of, did I say something wrong or am I being judged for who I really am, is something just about everyone can relate to. What makes Christian's journey especially compelling is that he doesn't always say the right thing or express himself in a traditional way, and that often leads to heartbreak. Affleck noted how powerful it is to show that dating, love, and vulnerability can be difficult no matter who you are. That's what gives the character so much depth, and it's the one reason fans would love to see his story get a proper ending. Affleck also hinted at the broader emotional arc of the trilogy. In the first film, Christian was emotionally isolated, with any sort of human connection feeling out of reach. In the second movie, he starts taking intentional steps to form those bonds, especially with his brother. So, it only makes sense that the third film would explore what it's like to maintain a relationship, with all the complications and compromises that come with it. The actor called this emotional territory fertile ground, pointing out how exploring the ups and downs of real, lasting connection could lead to a rich and satisfying conclusion for Christian's story. Fans seem to agree. Even without an official release date or confirmation from the studio, there's been a lot of excitement about The Accountant 3. The reception to the first two films was strong, and the characters clearly resonated with viewers. It feels like the trilogy deserves to be completed, not just to see more action sequences or brotherly banter, but to bring emotional closure to Christian's journey. One element that fans missed in The Accountant 2 was Dana's absence. While Braxton filled in the supporting role well, there's no denying that the chemistry between Christian and Dana was something special in the first film. It was surprising that the sequel didn't even mention her, especially since she was such a pivotal part of Christian's development in the original. A quick update or reference to where she'd been could have gone a long way. Still, the upside is that her return in The Accountant 3 would carry that much more emotional weight. Now that Christian has reconciled with his brother and is more open to connection, the timing would be perfect to rekindle that relationship. It also makes narrative sense. She was only left out to give space to the brother's story, and now that part has been told. All that's left is for The Accountant 2 to prove itself at the box office. If it performs well, The Accountant 3 seems like an obvious next step. And with the fan support and the storytelling potential already there, the third movie could easily be the emotional and narrative payoff this franchise deserves. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.